on that secondary. At the very least, Artosis is going to be able to stop the refinery. He's got 2 Wraith camped overhead, and I'm not sure if Sadis is going to have anything for a good while to basically back that out. Actually, he's got a dropship of his own coming out right now. He's going to load up 2 tanks of his own, but with those Wraith in the way, he's got to be very careful about this. It looks like he's going to go from a northern route and kind of try to bring the Goliath alongside. Artosis looks like he's missing this, so he's going to get counter-dropped, and yeah, now he's trying to bring those Wraith in to deal with that drop shuttle, but they're going to get led right into the Goliath, and Sadis, though, so it looks like Sadis did manage to clean that up, only lost that gas, so not too bad for him in the meantime. Artosis now, interestingly enough, he's got he's getting down that 3rd factory and working on that 4th factory. He's starting to fall behind a little bit economically. Looks like just about 2 Wraiths just continuing to harass that siege tank. Do manage to take out Sadist's siege tank in the meantime. We'll see if Sadist decides to put up an SCV or something like that to defend that secondary in the meantime. He on the opposite side, looks like Artosis has already got a turret going up at his secondary to defend against that. Those Wraiths still running around in Sadist's base now in the main. Finally, one of them getting taken out, but the second severely damaged but managing to escape. Let's see, I think Weapons 1 has already been upgraded. Yeah, Weapons 1 has already been upgraded on Sadis' part, so he's got about, right now, a little bit behind as far as production goes. He doesn't have that 3rd factory or 4th factory up yet, even though he's had that secondary for a while. And it looks like actually Sadis is calling for a pause, or pausing for a moment. Again, it looks like Sadis is economically ahead. He's got that level in weapons, but a little bit behind as far as production goes, because Artosis has 4 factories compared to his 2, essentially. Let me go ahead and, while this pauses, I'm actually going to set some hotkeys, which I don't usually do. Actually, I can't do it while pause, so never mind. Anyway, let me kind of give a view of the map during this pause, kind of downtime. Wish I had some funny music to throw in right here over the mic. I'm not going to sing for you. Kind of some mines down in front of Artosis' base. Now we're getting underway again. Sadist is now calling for the unpause. And now Artosis actually has a pretty good sized tank force on his main, and or near his secondary, I should say. I would not be surprised if he continues. He does look like he's continuing to produce dropships. If he just continues to harass Sadist on the front. And Sadist actually has a stream of troops going across the middle of the map. Looks like he might be thinking about creating some sort of container on Artosis. He's got 3 tanks and 2 Goliaths starting to push up there now. Some vultures coming around the backside for Artosis, just vultures, and I assume that's just to plant mines to do a little bit of scouting as well. Actually, no, it looks like they're out of mines, so just to scout. Unfortunately, they aren't coming across the troops that were just moving across the middle of the map. Both players have comsat and are going to start comsatting out. Engineering Bay floating out a little bit towards the mineral only near Artosis' 12 o'clock location, just to get a spot off. That is going to see the incoming troops from Sadist. However, Sadist is going to be able to take it down fairly quickly with those Goliaths. Now we'll see how Artosis reacts, or if he has anything really in position to react. Artosis actually has a lot of the vultures just kind of camped out in the meantime in the middle of the map. I'm kind of showing him at the very secondary locations. I'm kind of curious what Sadist is up to in the meantime. He's going to have trouble, though, because now he's trying to siege up on Cliffside. He got a comsat off. He's got 3 tanks to deal with it and didn't end up losing a tank. Just really close there, actually. Artosis sieged 2 tanks from up above, but able to take care of that. Wraith pushing up, though. They are going to be able to take care of one of the tanks, possibly 2 of the tanks. Actually, no, just getting one pulling back. The other one is severely damaged, though. It looks like it is leading at the moment. SCV's immediately coming up. Now that large tank force coming up from up above, but Sadist is able to back his troops off. He has expanded in the meantime to about the inside 9 o'clock position, getting his gas down here. More tanks pulling out for him. And Sadist in the meantime has 2 dropships up. He's got his 4 factories pumping at this point. He's in a pretty comfortable position. We'll see if he goes for some drops along that corner. He's also got a pretty decent contain, well, not a full contain, obviously, on Artosis. And obviously there's those dropships out. But as far as on the ground, he's got 3 tanks and 3 Goliaths camped outside of Artosis' base. Artosis in the meantime still, he's got those vultures as far as X factors on the base. And he's got 2 dropships, actually 3 dropships now as well. And his 4 factories still pumping. Looks like he's going to be a little bit behind as far as the weapons upgrade go. He's getting that additional upgrade now. Now, as you can see, yeah, just more tanks coming up for Sadist to complete a pure contain. He's got 6 tanks now around the front door, and we'll see if he decides to comsat to do a little bit of clearing here in the meantime. A little bit of attacking kind of happening out in the map. It looks like Sadist is actually clearing that map artifact on his front door to allow a little bit better troop flow. And he's still got those 2 dropships out, so right now he's in a pretty good position. He can do some dual-pronged attacks, actually, I think, with the tanks up front. Basically drop on Artosis' ridge, although that's going to be difficult with all these turrets that he's got up. But try a drop on that ridge, try to draw some troops back to that direction, then try to pump them up the front door. He's going to have a difficult time, though, because Artosis has this minefield. In the meantime, Artosis has a large drop moving out, going for mobility. He's got about 4 dropships coming along the north here. It's going to bring them backside on Sadist. Sadist does not have any turrets up along his backside wall on his natural secondary. Once again, he's just been relying. I guess he's going to rely on dropships for defense, which is unfortunate because he's bringing his dropships out right now, and he's only got 3 compared to the 4 of Artosis. I think he did spot them out with the comm set, so he's going to intercept them now, trying to move them across the middle of the map. There is a Goliath that's intercepting around the corner, so he does see them coming in, but they're going to be, but not before they're dropped all over the ridge above the secondary of Artosis. Now the counter dropships coming in, but Goliath's able to focus fire, but not before they were able to unload. So it looks like Sadist is going to be able to put up a little bit of a defense here, but it's not enough. There are just too many. There are just too many forces here, and just in too small a space. So he is going to be able to get a lot of SCVs here. Sadist, yeah, just absolutely losing. Oh, bleeding SCVs here. Lost all the troops in that dropship force. He's going to have to load up, and it's going to be difficult because Artosis does have those 3 Goliaths at the north, and he's got a really good position. He's just shelling that secondary now. Going to be able to take out that refinery again. Might even be able to do some critical damage to this command center if Sadist is not careful. Sadist now lifting that command center off, but there's a couple supply depots underneath also getting hammered. Poor Sadist, just losing some of that precious supply in the meantime. And now, Artosis is just camping out up above. He's got a really nice. Took out another dropship there by pushing up a little bit. Sadist has a real killing Goliaths as they're wandering into the kill zone here. So the 3 Goliaths camped right behind those tanks, and they're creating a nice ridge line. I don't see Sadist actually taking that back anytime soon. Though Sadist's economy isn't going to be too hurt. He does have that inside 9 o'clock expansion going, where Artosis basically does not. And it looks like Sadist being ridiculously aggressive and taking a command center. And actually, Sadist needs to be careful. He keeps losing Goliaths by wandering them into the Goliath hit zone here near his secondary here. But Sadist being ridiculously aggressive and taking an expansion which just got comsatted at the inside 3 o'clock location right in front of Artosis' base. SCVs being dropped cliffside to do that. Wow. SCVs being dropped cliffside over the secondary, that siege that was up the secondary, able to take out 2 tanks with counter splash, and it looks like 4 more dropships pushing in. Some Goliath still wandering to the north, but 4 more dropships pushing in, and that command center still going. That is ridiculous, and it looks like the Vulture just kind of pushing out. Vulture just missing an SCV that was in the bottom right hand corner. Now a huge drop going over that inside 9 o'clock expansion, and Sadist once again not prepared for this. He's going to have to lift that command center out, and that is now going to hurt. He's now down to single base, and Artosis now taking the economic lead, even though an additional base going up right outside cliffside. And again, with those 4 Goliaths in that position, it's going to be very difficult to push them out. Somehow, it looks like with some tank spotting, those Goliaths and those tanks have been taken out over the natural secondary for Sadist, but his command center currently burning at the secondary, so it looks like it was a pretty heavy troop cost. And now, mining 3 o'clock inside normally the expansion that you would expect Artosis to take. Sadist is now moving his SCVs there and mining out of it, also bringing a lot of troops up, so he's really dedicating to inside contain. Artosis has built a floating command center in the meantime. He's still waiting for an additional base, loading up with another. He's got 5 dropships out, loading up with another large drop. We'll see if he goes for the same point once again, or decides to drop on his own inside 3 o'clock expansion. Honestly, I don't see why he wouldn't do that. And more troops. Sadist once again leaving the tanks a little too close in the kill zone, and they're getting counter dropped all over the place. He's going to have to lift this inside 3 o'clock expansion, which honestly was a little bit crazy to take in the first place. A lot of tanks actually were taken down in that attack, but still about 5 Goliaths there. And actually, I think Sadist might end up losing this command center. He's at the very least, going to lose a lot of SCVs here. It looks like the SCVs are going to be able to pull out fine. And the command center camping over 3 tanks, just trying to spot for it and trying to do some counter damage. Going to lose that refinery there. So in the meantime, Sadist, even though he has a lot of command centers, not able to really do any get any production done. He's going to call GG right there. Just feeling like he was just too far behind production. In the meantime, Artosis just had those 5 dropships and was dropping all over. Had the natural camp, had the secondary camp. The inside 9 o'clock camp, and then that inside 3 o'clock, I guess, was the final blow. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Media going up 1-0. The first loss for 50 cal in this match, or in actually all of Yankee League. Thanks for listening, guys.